All right. So I've shuffled my my cards here, and I've been wondering what question to ask. So let me do an example, very random. There is nobody in my head for this particular question, but uh, you know normally we people are let's take an example of how to make a career choice, because people are, most often they're like, so which especially when you're at a very crucial point in your life, deciding what you want to do with your life. And I think the cards are really useful when you have these kind of deep questions. So let's say it's a work and career situation, and your client is like, so what should I do with my life in terms of my work that will give me most happiness, most joy, most satisfaction, most even career satisfaction. So let's ask that question. And what should your client do to get, what kind of career should the client follow to get the most satisfaction in his life, from his work. Now, again, realize this advice might look a little bit vague, or it might look a little bit sensible. Either ways, I really don't know what's going to come up. uh, so let's see. Okay, let's pull this one, and this one. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5. This is hard. Oh, look, magician. Huh? All right. Let me see if this is fitting within the frame. I did move the camera around a little bit too. So this is the adventure of making YouTube videos for fun and profit. Okay, so we have the magician. So it's not a court card, so we'll go with that. And then on the other side we have King of Pentacles, reverse. So he's a court card. Next one, Hanged Man. See, again, we are seeing the Hanged Man today a lot. So okay, let's move this. We can use the whole screen, right? So these guys can also come in. Haha. Oh man, come on. Look pretty for me already. Okay, so we have the magician with the King of Pentacles reverse, and then we have the Hanged Man. Now this guy's coming up again. So again, this is a person, see, if you see just the environment here, this is a person who likes to be in charge, who likes to sort of have things in his control. That's the magician. He wants to be the person in charge, or in lead of, the leading man of his life. He also has very practical concerns, especially when it concerns his career. He wants to make money, he wants to make a steady, stable life, but he's not quite there yet, obviously. And so he finds himself in a stuck position. Now, what kind of a job? Now, if he wants to go in for a steady income job, it might be a little bit of a boring job. That's how he sees it. The magician is always looking for adventure, yes. And then the stable job can be boring. The job where he needs to maybe be the leading man, the hero, the doer of all things, and all of that. So that is a bit of an adventure, and that might not end up well for him. So he is in this position, trying to see a different point of view, trying to figure everything out. Now the Hanged Man is a very, very interesting card. Don't discount it. Don't discount it. Sometimes when you just stand there, stand still, upside down, you see things. Oh, we have a jumper. What does this guy say? Nice. Wow, this guy comes up too. Mice is all about worry, anxiety. He worries about, stuff being taken away. Okay, all right. Enough with this shuffling. Let's just put the cards down. So now we are not going to start with the four corners, because the main concern is the central issue here. Okay, with this spread, it's the central point. This is his career, so it's his concerns about his career. And we have the Hierophant reversed. See, here's the thing: the Hierophant follows the system, the path that society has laid down, or rather, he sets those rules and he wants everybody to follow them. Reverse Hierophant is someone who wants to break the rules. He doesn't want to have a traditional 9 to 5 job. You could also see that with the Magician card there, because this is a guy who likes to do his own thing. He doesn't want to have the 9 to 5 job. He doesn't want that traditional setting in his life. He wants to do something wild, maybe outrageous, maybe a little different, perhaps even start his own business. And he does. See, the fact that the Hierophant came up and no other card came up to sort of tell this story also indicates that although his way of making a living might be a little different from others, it has a system of its own, it has an energy of its own, and it has a stability of its own, but it needs to come into its own as well. Oh, look at that play of words. When he does that, and see, the key. To me, the key is a card that shows what, it's like he holds the key in his hand. He knows the answer, right? Here's the thing. Just with this, your sort of reading is kind of done the way I would see it. You know the answer. I would tell the client that you have the key in your hands, in the heart of your hearts. You know what is it that you want to do. This reading right here is just a way for you to get some kind of a rationalization or some kind of a an okay or a sign from the universe saying that yeah, you've made the right choice, or maybe you're not making the right choice, whatever. You want the universe to give its perspective to what you have chosen. The key is in your hands there, right? The key in the Lenormand is something that can lock or unlock. So let's see, let's find out. Now because this is how I do it with this kind of a question. I'm now going to look at the four corners. What are the four pillars, so to speak, that are holding up this core issue for your client? And we have Page of Swords, so a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts, a lot of interesting concepts that are always popping up in this person's head. Four of Pentacles. It's hard for him to hold on to things, especially I would say money, because he does have a free hand maybe with money. He likes to spend it. But he's trying hard to hold on to it. I would also sometimes say that it's not necessary that he has a lot of money here. Maybe he doesn't have a lot of money, but he does like to spend. That's the feeling I'm getting here. All right. And then we have the King of Cups reverse. So emotionally, things aren't all that great for him. He's trying to figure it out, but it's not necessarily something that's just, stable or steady for him, right? And then we have the Devil. Ooh. Now the Devil, while it does bring material benefits if you're just doing a prediction kind of a scene, this Devil brings money. Devil always brings money, but Devil brings money with chains attached, right? There's always, there's, as I say, there's no free lunch. The Devil makes sure it's not free at all on any level. Yeah. So if I were to now say the four corners, now this guy wants to do maybe a career which is a little bit different, and a little bit different from the norm. He doesn't want a 9 to 5 kind of a job. He wants to do something, maybe start his own business. He knows what he wants to do. All right, he knows what he wants to do, but it's very risky. He has a lot of creative, interesting ideas, but he's a little bit of a spendthrift and he can't hold on to his money, right? So if you need to start a business, capital is an interesting, it's a requirement. And he does have a lot of emotional ups and downs in his life, or maybe a little bit of hang-ups in his life. So his emotion, so when it comes to money, because now if you see this, when it comes to money, right, he doesn't have that foundation or that stability that he needs to have or the systematic approach that he needs to have. And so he they do lock and unlock his emotions, or rather his emotions lock and unlock his thing with money, his relationship with money. But then the ideas that he has, right, the ideas, the concepts, they might be different from the norm, but then they might also bring him a lot of money. But the money comes with strings attached. So he might get assignments for a long term situation. Like if he starts his own business, he might get long term assignments, but then he will feel that he's trapped in them, that he's chained in them, maybe. So he wants his freedom, but he also wants money. So I mean, you can see that his essential conundrum is just popping up here. He wants to do something extraordinary and different because he has a quality or a talent perhaps that can get him there, but and all these brilliant ideas popping up, and he has the capability really of making things happen, but his emotions always seem to get the better of him, and he ends up spending more than he earns. And so what he does actually need is a steady sort of assignment that will bring him steady income, but he's afraid of being caught in the trap or the chains, of a long-term assignment, really. So it's kind of his own emotions and feelings are at odds with his practical requirements from his career. All right. Then on top we have the book. So he is very knowledgeable. See, right on top, he has a lot of knowledge here of what he is about his career, really. But if you just see this part, right, his ideas and his emotional state, he's also knowledgeable about them. Now here we have, see, again, I kept saying money. The fish in the Lenormand is about abundance, it's about plenty, and it's about money, right? It's about resources. So yeah, he has those resources, but he can't hold on to them. And right below we have snake. Oh boy, right? So snake is the card of someone who is a smooth talker but will betray you. Now see, with the tarot, there's always an energy, good and bad is kind of mixed up. Like in the devil card, like that's a prime example right here. Yeah, this card can be good and bad. The devil can bring material benefits, but like I said, it brings it with the chains attached. Now with the snake card right here, right before it, I would say that because of his his habit of spending money or not being able to hold on to his resources, he will meet someone, because this is almost always a person who is a sweet talker and who will give him that opportunity to the project or whatever. But then this person may very likely turn around and betray this client of yours, and he or she is going to very likely chain him in a deal which might look very nice at first, because that's what snake card people do. Is they come across as very sweet, very nice, very oh yeah, I'm so much your friend and I'm doing this for you. But then you turn around and you realize, oh my god, you're caught in this trap. And so his intuition about being caught is very strong here, but then it is justified right here with the snake. So be careful, be careful. And there you have the house, right? What he's genuinely looking for is a stable income. All right. So now if I were to tell this guy, now now practically we are saying, okay, this is what his career reading, or what kind of career choices to make, kind of a reading. Now he knows what he wants to do. He maybe wants to go do something like a freelancer or work for himself, like a solopreneur, whatever you might call it, and he has the talent to do that. What he needs to do now, here's that advice coming in, he needs to be very careful with his resources and even with his ideas, right? He shouldn't let his emotions get the better of him. He should find that stability of his emotions. And he should be very careful of this person who comes across as someone who wants to help and who's sweet and nice and kind first, but then read the fine print of the contract that you end up signing, because that, this person is a very smart person and this person will trap you. All right. So, in bringing it back to making the career choices, right? This is a person who wants something stable and steady, but who also wants his freedom. He cherishes that. He is talented. He is someone who has the ability to create that, right? Even with the Hierophant here, the Hierophant does indicate someone who is very knowledgeable in that department, right? He has what he is knowledgeable, the book card, right? But he needs to watch out for these forces. At one point he becomes his own enemy. And at the other end there is someone else looking to betray him and hurt him and trap him in a weirdly weird deal. So these are the things he needs to watch out for. And if he does watch out for it, he will be very, very successful in his, chosen career. But these are his weak points, and he needs to watch out for those. And he needs to really, really make up his mind, become stronger on these points, and then start his freelance career. It's very simple. He knows what he wants, but these are the points I think that the universe wanted to tell him, that watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Okay, so yeah, so this is very, very interesting sort of way of looking at it. Now I did this also, and the indirect influences and the but now we don't do the past, present, future here, because this is related to a very specific question. But if you were to do a past, present, future, then it has to be about this career related question. Ultimately, always bring it back to your question. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this example as well. So again, I will ask you to go right ahead and try this spread. If you're not into the Lenormand, that's fine. You can use all tarot cards and tell me how that spread sort of worked out, whether it did give you the insight you were looking for. If you're using Lenormand, see if you can combine tarot and Lenormand and you get the kind of answers you're looking for. Or if you're just into Lenormand, use the Lenormand cards for this spread, and obviously, so whatever cards you want to use. I mean, one of my friends recently said that she used oracle cards along with tarot cards in a spread like this, and I'm like, totally, man, go for it. So use the kind of cards that are going to give you the message that you're looking for, the kind of message value that you're looking for, and just do the spread and see. All right, so if you have past, present, future, then you have the central core issue, then you have the four corners, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is kind of like all's well that ends well kind of a thing. Then we have the indirect influence, and then we have the direct impact, and then we have what is above or over the situation, what is the situation, what is below the situation, or under what's being pushed aside or underneath in this situation. So there's various ways of looking at the card connections within the spread, and so you can play around with what gives you the most value, or what brings everything together for you. If you were to summarize, what would you say? Oh yeah, we didn't do that with this one, right? We have book, fish, snake, house, and book again. So the wisdom about your money and your resources that might be taken away or you might be betrayed, right? This wisdom will ultimately create stability for you, even with your within your business, within your situation, and also with your knowledge. See, this whole thing is summarized right there. The four corners, this, and this. That's been my experience. That you look at the four corners, then you look at the summary, or rather, you look at the central cards, the four corners, and the summary, and you kind of get the whole gist of the entire spread in front of you. But yeah, you can also examine the other angles. Totally do that, especially because that's how I started out, and this is where I stumbled onto my angle of the spread. But your angle might be different. That's the fun part. And I've made another 20-minute video. Yay. Okay, I must stop talking. But how do you like this spread? Just share your thoughts in the comments below, all right? And I will and try this spread, like I said, and let me know what you think. All right? Talk to you soon. And meanwhile, stay good, be good, play with your cards.